What's good? What's good? What is good? Uh, between the holidays, the Maui college football started. Go Hoosiers! Go Hoosiers! I don't know where to look. I always don't know where to look in this, but anyways, go Hoosiers! We lost to Texas big time. We did beat Providence, I think. Yeah, we did. Um, Steelers and the Ravens actually played yesterday, which I personally don't think they should have because there's different policies for different teams when it comes to this COVID stuff. Uh, Steelers got a defensive player that got hurt. You could find all this information on my Facebook page, which is Fancy Football Addiction, All Sports 24/7, 365 days. Sports Mafia and Gridiron Fan Zone are two other pages that I help moderate or I am an admin in. Um, I got some new stuff coming in from my little office, so hopefully you guys help me expand uh, my little addiction of fantasy football, hobby, whatever you want to call it. I greatly appreciate the subscribers I do have. I hope I can get more. Um, Positive comments down below, please, on what I should drop. Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd, the Bengals play. Let me see. Bengals play Miami. Miami is favored by 11 and a half. Uh, with Tyler Boyd, you gotta, there's no other wide receivers for the Bengals. AJ Green, he's just done checked out. He don't give a crap no more. Um, but that quarterback, you got to have somebody to throw it to him. But Tyler Boyd is the only thing that the Bengals have, so I wouldn't really drop him because that's all they have. But you got Slim Pickens uh, with there's a couple teams with the Bucks and the Panthers being out. So Chris Godwin, Mike Evans are out. Gronk's out. Then you got AJ Brown and somebody that I have picked up for. You got to think all that. Yeah, that quarterback really. I mean, who? It's just, you know, I understand the NFL had to get this season going, and then with Wednesday's game, you got Marquise Brown's out, you got Chase Claypool's out, D Johnson's out, Juju's out. So you got to think about all that stuff. So that's uh Mark. Who is your other wide receivers, and what type of league are you in? That's the question. What type of league are you in? And who are your other wide receivers? Can you afford, with the playoffs? What is it? Next week or the week after? Can you afford? Okay, okay. Michael Pittman should be good because you might be able to drop him then because you got Debo Samuel who plays. Who do the Niners play? And of course, I want to have it on my list. But you got, Pittman, 12.5 PPR. Ooh, wee. Uh, Man, it's hard to. If you could pick up Cole Beasley, if you could drop Tyler Boyd and pick up Cole Beasley Or if you could pick up, you got Samuel. Sterling Shepard would be, yeah, who was on a bye. If you can pick up Sterling Shepard, he has 7 receptions, 68 yards, 8 targets, week 12, five straight games of 10 plus fantasy football points. You might be able to do that, but Tyler Boyd, he ain't got a quarterback. And for Sterling Shepard, hold on. For Sterling Shepard, uh, Daniel Jones has a hamstring injury, so man, it's hard out here for a fantasy football pimp. uh, Henry Ruggs, maybe. Sammy Watkins, stashed for the playoffs. Can you afford to drop Boyd? Because you do have Debo Samuels. And who do the 49ers play? Oakland, Browns, Titans, Jags, Vikings, Raiders, Jets, Saints, Lions, Skins, Steelers, Giants, Rams, Cards, Eagles, Packers, Pats. Oh, they play the Bills. They play the Bills. Oh, that secondary for the Bills is kind of hard, so you might have to drop Boyd just to help out with Debo Samuels. But Michael Pittman, go Colts. That's my team. That is my team. T.Y. Hilton hasn't stepped up. Zach Pascal hasn't stepped up. You can get a lot of points with him, but Debo Samuel's got to go against the Bills secondary, which is really good. So yeah, I say I drop Boyd, but I don't know who you can pick up. But let me get to some of these waiver wires, so maybe you can get an idea of who to get before you leave. Let's see. I got Devontae Parker because Josh Jacobs is hurt. He has an ankle injury, but they play the Jets. Uh, James Washington, 48% owned, 29 fantasy football points last 2 games. They play the Chargers. Uh, Frank Gore is 22.1% owned, 18 rushing attempts, 74 yards, 10.1 fantasy football points week 12. Double digits in catches in all but 2 weeks. The highest one for running backs I got right now is Cam Akers, 9 carries, 10 yards per carry, and a touchdown week 12, 29.2% owned in Yahoo. 84 yards, over 14 fantasy points. You know, it's Slim Pickens, I tell you, man. Fantasy football. You got Alan Lazard. You can, I don't think he's 28% owned. You get Brashard Perryman, 14% owned, 8 targets, week 11. Jalen Rager is really good for the Eagles. He is 22% owned, 32% owned in Yahoo. The 22% is in other leagues like, FanDuel, DraftKings, and whatnot. NFL Network, which I do have a couple teams on. Maybe the Jags Collins Johnson, but Mike Glennon, he used to be the Bears quarterback and he sucked balls. Olabisi Johnson, wide receiver for the Vikings. We don't know about Adam Thielen. Yeah, Delton. Oh no. Logan Thomas, tight end for the Skins, 41% owned in Yahoo. 5 games this season of 10 fantasy football points or more. But they play the Steelers, I think, what is it, Monday or Tuesday night? Maybe. Let's see. Let's see. Who else we got? Jordan Reed, 14% owned, 6 targets. Bills allow the third most points to tight ends. So for tight ends, I would go either Jordan Reed or Logan Thomas. Ryan Fitzmagic. 31 passing attempts, 257 yards, 19.3 fantasy football points. Week 12, and he's got the Bengals. Well, I need to see Boyd one more week. Then, yeah, you got to see how that connection between the quarterback. Who's the quarterback for the Bengals, anyways? You got to see how that connection is, because AJ Green. I don't even know where he is. And then I think it's T. Higgins that plays for the Bengals. Do I got him mixed with the Browns? I don't know, but that's a good idea right there, just to see how they mesh. But the thing is, can you afford to do that with the playoffs coming so closely? With the playoffs around the corner, can you? Are you able to hit? Do you have that much? Do you have a little bit of wiggle room where you can do that, especially with playoffs? You got T.Y. Hilton, but I would only use him in deeper leagues. Cole Beasley, if you pick up Cole Beasley, that is one of my favorite fantasy football players. Yeah, then you might not want to. You might not if you start Juju and Debo. Debo plays the Bills though, so you might want to think about Juju and Michael Pittman. Debo plays that secondary for the Bills is monstrous when they get their stuff together. I got Debo Samuels right here. 11 receptions, 134 yards, 13 targets, week 12. But then you got Brandon Aq. So man, that's hard, especially if you still need to make the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know. You got Michael Pittman, 23.3% owned, 9 targets, week 12. You got good matchups coming up. Oh, shot through the heart. Right there, Nelson Aguilar. You might be able to, see if he's available. Oh my goodness, that hurt. Sammy Watkins, Henry Ruggs, Gus Edwards, James Conner had COVID. Uh, and then I got Gabriel Davis for Buffalo. Russell Gage, could you think you can pick him up? He plays the Saints, and their secondary is. Let's see what we got for injuries so far. We got Jags fired, GM, Steelers game. Bears have lost last. Yeah, but Bears suck. They lost like 5 straight in a row, and they should have won it. Austin Eckler, 16 targets, week 12. Daniel Jones, hurt hamstring, maybe at least 1 to 2 weeks. Hamstring strain. Yeah. Uh. Okay. You got to look at the defensive schemes for the Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills. And also look for what type of plays Pittman plays with Rivers and what Debo plays with Nick Mullins. Being a Colts fan, I'm going to say Pittman, but I got to put that aside and say, Nick Mullins or Philip Rivers. Houston's defense isn't like. Yeah, but is that, does the Bills cover that play well? And if they do, does that take from Debo? That's it's hard. I'm glad I didn't do FanDuel or DraftKings in money leagues. I tell you that with this craziness going on. Will Fuller's out. Taysom Hill was 9 for 16, 78 yards, interception, 46 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Has not thrown a pass in 57 attempts. That's Taysom Hill. I don't know. Seeing this last week, Debo plays the Rams, and Jalen Ramsey was covering it. That turned out pretty good for him. The thing is, I think Jalen Ramsey is a little bit too cocky sometimes, where I want to say Tre'Davious White is a little bit different than Ramsey, but if White is covering Debo, you still got to look into that man. I think it's Tre'Davious White. Yeah, you got to look into that. You got to look into the defensive schemes, stuff like that. What is this? Yep, yes he is. Pittman is playing Houston, which is sucky. So the quarterback, Nick Mullins, will he be able to cut up that Bills defense like Philip Rivers hopefully will cut up the Houston defense? So dang, 16 minutes there, Mike. You helped out with my little bitty show or podcast, which I ain't got much, but that's about it. I will have another podcast with injury updates. And Mark, I will look into Pittman versus Debo. I'll have another video up for you if you're around later on. Help you out. But appreciate it, sir. Y'all have a great day. I gotta go and get some more gifts. As you can see, my dog's hid somewhere, and I hope everybody's being safe. I hope everybody's being clean. Um, we're gonna get through this. Again, I see all these podcast people saying that they greatly appreciate, but I do. I mean, I might have 8 subscribers. Hopefully, I'll have 20 by the end of the year, and I'll do a little bit more, and I'll have some guests on if I can figure out how to do that. And y'all have a blessed day. Go Hoosiers!